My brothers and sisters, what we see with our eyes is only a fraction of the truth. The human eye can capture images, colors, and shapes, but it cannot see everything that lies beneath the surface. Too often, we rely only on what we see and form conclusions based on appearances alone. But life has shown us that appearances can be deceiving. A smile on someone's face might convince us they are happy and carefree, yet deep inside they may be carrying a burden too heavy to put into words. A person's neat clothing and confident posture might make us think they have everything under control, but behind closed doors they might be struggling to hold themselves together. How many times have we misjudged people simply because of the way they look? We see someone dressed modestly and assume they must be righteous, yet their heart may be struggling. We see someone dressed differently and assume they are far from faith, when in reality they might have a stronger relationship with their Creator than we do. The eyes can only take in the outward image, but they cannot measure a person's sincerity, integrity, or kindness. These are qualities that the eyes of the heart must recognize. The world we live in is full of illusions. Sometimes what looks like a blessing is in fact a test, and what looks like a hardship is a hidden blessing. You might see a person with wealth, power, and influence and think they have everything, but in truth that wealth might be the very thing that distracts them from what truly matters. You might see someone who has lost their job, their possessions, or their health and think they are unfortunate, yet through their hardship they may have found faith, patience, and inner peace that no amount of money could buy. If we only rely on our eyes, we will miss the deeper wisdom in the events that unfold around us. This is why we must guard ourselves against misjudgment. One of the greatest harms we can cause is when we speak or act based on assumptions drawn from sight alone. Our eyes may show us one image, but that image is not the full reality. We are warned against suspicion because suspicion creates stories in our minds that may have no truth in them. It is better to withhold judgment and seek understanding than to let the illusions of sight lead us into injustice. When we learn to look with the eyes of the heart, guided by compassion, humility, and wisdom, we begin to see more clearly. The eyes of the heart are not distracted by appearances. They search for meaning and truth. They look for the good in people, for the lessons in challenges, and for the signs of divine wisdom in every situation. This deeper way of seeing can transform how we interact with others and how we face our own difficulties. There will always be things in life that we cannot see. We cannot see the future. We cannot always see the reasons why certain events happen. We cannot see the full plan that our Creator has prepared for us. But we can trust in what we cannot see. Even when situations look hopeless through our physical eyes, our faith can tell us that relief and blessings are on the way. The most beautiful outcomes in life often come from places we never expected. So do not believe everything your eyes tell you. Look deeper, think wider, and trust the unseen truths that bring peace to the heart. There are moments in life when what we see before us feels so convincing that we take it as the complete truth. Yet the reality is that our eyes only capture the outer shell of any situation. They cannot reveal the unseen struggles, hidden intentions, or the deeper wisdom that lies beyond what is visible. Many times we meet people whose outward image tells one story, but their reality is entirely different. A cheerful expression may hide a heart weighed down with grief. A confident appearance may mask deep uncertainty. The eyes take in images, but they cannot read the soul. We often forget how misleading appearances can be. Society teaches us to judge quickly, to label people based on their clothing, their mannerisms, or their social status. Someone with wealth might be assumed to live a life of ease, yet that same wealth could be the source of constant anxiety, pressure, and sleepless nights. On the other hand, a person facing visible hardship might appear to be struggling, but inside they could be stronger, more grateful, and more at peace than anyone would imagine. What the eyes see is only the surface. The truth is often hidden beneath layers that sight alone cannot uncover. Life is filled with moments where blessings and tests are disguised. A situation that looks like a breakthrough could actually be a trial, and a situation that appears to be a setback might be a doorway to something better. Many people envy what others have without realizing that it may not be the blessing it seems. Similarly, we might pity those in difficulty without realizing that their hardship is refining them, teaching them patience, and bringing them closer to a purpose far greater than we can perceive. This is why it is unwise to judge a moment solely by how it looks. When we act on what we see without deeper understanding, we risk harming others and ourselves. The human mind is quick to create stories to explain what the eyes observe, but those stories are often incomplete or entirely false. Misjudgment begins when we accept our limited perception as the whole truth. It is wiser to pause, to reflect, and to consider that there may be more to the picture than meets the eye. Holding back from quick conclusions is not weakness, it is wisdom. True clarity comes when we learn to see beyond the physical, when we look with understanding, empathy, and humility. This means choosing to search for meaning rather than settling for surface impressions. It means seeing people for their character and intentions rather than their outward appearance. It means viewing challenges as opportunities to grow rather than as final defeats. The heart, when guided by these principles, can often see what the eyes cannot. There will always be parts of life that remain invisible to us. We cannot see every detail of the future or fully understand the reasoning behind every twist and turn of our journey. Yet we can trust that there is wisdom even in the things we cannot see. Just because something does not look promising to the eyes does not mean it holds no value. In fact, some of the most meaningful moments in life come from circumstances that once appeared hopeless. The lesson is to look beyond the immediate image, to trust the process, and to believe that there is more to every story than what sight alone can reveal. Many people live their lives trusting whatever their eyes show them, but the truth is that sight alone is one of the most unreliable guides. The eyes are limited. They can only capture what is on the surface. They cannot read the depth of a person's emotions, the truth behind their actions, or the reality of a situation. A person can appear to be living a perfect life while silently battling pain. Someone can seem strong and confident yet feel uncertain and fragile inside. Relying only on what you see can lead to conclusions that are far from reality. Appearances can be deceiving, and history is filled with examples of how outward impressions have misled people. We often meet someone and make instant assumptions about their character, intelligence, or success based on how they look or speak. But those assumptions are built on a shallow foundation. A person's clothing, mannerisms, or possessions tell very little about their true worth. Wealth may hide financial struggle, confidence may mask fear, politeness may conceal frustration. Our eyes can mislead us into thinking we understand, when in fact we have barely scratched the surface. Life itself often hides its truths behind appearances. What we think is a blessing might actually be a test, and what we think is a curse may carry hidden gifts. A promotion at work could look like a dream come true, but may bring stress and pressure that affect health and relationships. Losing a job might seem like a disaster, but could open the door to a better career or a more fulfilling life path. Our eyes cannot see the long-term consequences of a moment. They only see the immediate image. That is why relying on sight alone can cause us to misinterpret the very events that shape our lives. One of the dangers of believing everything we see is that it fuels quick judgment. The human mind tends to fill in the gaps of what it does not know with assumptions, and those assumptions can cause harm. Misjudging someone based on appearance can lead to unfair treatment, damaged relationships, and missed opportunities to understand one another. Taking a moment to pause, to seek context, and to recognize the limits of our perception can prevent us from acting on false impressions. True understanding requires looking beyond the physical image and using the eyes of the heart. These are guided not by quick visual impressions, but by empathy, compassion, and patience. They allow us to see people for their intentions and actions rather than for their appearance. They help us interpret challenges as lessons rather than as punishments. Seeing with the heart means allowing wisdom and humility to shape our perspective, reminding us that the truth is often deeper than what the eyes reveal. There will always be aspects of life hidden from our sight. We cannot see the full future or understand all the reasons behind what happens to us. At times, what is invisible to us is the very thing shaping our destiny for the better. Trusting in the unseen requires faith that even when things do not look promising, there is a purpose being fulfilled. The most beautiful moments in life often come from situations that once appeared hopeless or unremarkable. By refusing to believe everything our eyes tell us, we open ourselves to a richer understanding of people, events, and the unfolding of our own journey.